Okay, most high in Christ. Shalom, Israel. Thanks for the universal practical knowledge. Salaki, I'm just raising up the board. Okay, we're about to get started in a second, but for now, the brother had a question, not specifically Hebrew break based, but I wanted to give him an explanation of it. Basically, John's origin and the truth. So read what you got. This is Matthew 20 and 20. Read it. Sure.
Matthew chapter 20, verse 20. Then came to him the mother of Zebedee, children with her son,
Right.
worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him.
Meaning she's going to Christ, worshiping him, basically saying, you're the leader of Israel. You're the one that we as a people have to follow. This woman, this sister, was wise and does what a wise sister does. She sees. Shalom, another one. You want to say? Shalom, I'll give you a second. So basically, this sister was wise. The mother of Zebedee's kids, right? John and James' mother, she's wise. She understands who Yahweh Shai is, and he's the leader of our nation. So she has a question for Yahweh Shai, and the brother wanted to know the origins of John, so I'm just covering that for him. Right? So the next thing is, so the next verse is, Christ asks her, what's the certain thing that she wants? And then she says unto him, grant that these my two sons may sit the one on the right, on thy right hand, and the other on the left in thy kingdom. Meaning what? She also believed in the scriptures. She knew full well, right? John and James' mother knew full well that Christ was the leader of our nation. Just like our dear sisters today that come in and see that the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is the home of the truth, right? And they come in and they bring their children in here. This sister brought her two sons before Christ and basically asked, can John and James be the second and third in the kingdom? Basically, that's what she asked for her sons. That's verse 21, right? God. Now give me verse 22, and this is what Christ answered her.
Verse 22.
But Jesus answered and said,
Sorry. Go.
But Yahushua answered and said, ye know not what ye ask.
You don't even know what you're asking. Keep going. Why doesn't she know what she's asking? Keep going.
Are ye able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of?
Are you able to drink of the cup that I'm drinking of? What's the cup that he's going to drink of? What's the cup that he's going to drink of?
The sacrifice.
Con. Well, yeah, Con.
I think it's the cup of iniquity.
Not necessarily iniquity, not sin, to a point. But Con, what are you going to say? The cup of what? You said sacrifice?
Yeah, I was going on that line, but.
Well, you're not. What do you mean by sacrifice?
He's drinking from that he's about to die.
Right.
From his
He's about to die.
No, not about to die, but he's taking on the responsibility. He's taking on the. Like it's trying to look for the right words.
No, basically that's it. That's the responsibility. He's about to come in and he's about to
sacrifice himself.
Right. That's the cup he's going to drink from. He's going to be crucified at some point. He's going to die for this mission. Come.
So that he's going to lay down his life for his brothers.
Right. Concept. Good. He's going to lay down his life for his brothers. Right? What's going? And that's what he's saying. You want to be with me, but you got to drink out the same cup that I do. I'm about to die for this. Are you ready for that? Keep reading.
Come. And to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptizing with. They said unto him, we are able.
Meaning what? Yeah, whatever. Okay, because you got to understand. They know and understand what it is. It's not some beautiful like church sermon. They are really out here talking revolution. This woman understands what Christ is saying. I'm going to take over the government. But it's called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians will rule the world, and it'll be under my name. Okay, no sweat. Let my son be vice president and my other son be head of state. or the Secretary of State. You realize what you're asking for, right? To give you an example, are you familiar with John Hancock?
John Hancock?
John Hancock from American History. Come.
Just somewhat. I know that he was one of the you know what I'm saying, the American founding fathers and one of the.
He's the cat.
Right.
He's signed his name big as hell inside the right inside the Declaration of Independence. Everybody else squiggle, 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 squiggle. Nah, John Hancock. You know why? The Declaration of Independence was really basically an FU to the British. So us going, just like us today, going out on the streets is an FU to the American government, right? Just like today, it was an FU to the American government. It was an FU back then to the Roman government. Okay? So what does that mean? What they're saying is, whatever happens to you, we'll deal with it. If we got to go to jail for this, we'll go to jail for this. These two brothers were really sitting there, probably very young, explaining this. Now, I'm using this to explain because we're going to go into it, Salakia, because you got scriptures, a lot of people don't understand the relationship that Christ had with John. John and Christ's relationship was a little, what's it called?
Close.
Yes, and I'll explain why. Khan.
Salakia, so if I may, the way that you explained about the John Hancock,
right?
Now, you know what I'm saying, by him signing
like that big. Everybody sounded small. Khan.
Salakia, so if I may,
yeah.
And by him signing that way, it is, you know what I'm saying, now, you know what I'm saying, now it's known that put your John Hancock on this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's a slogan now,
right.
Put John Hancock on that. Meaning
right.
to sign this.
Exactly.
That's the way that he signed.
Everybody else was a punk. Right, and wrote it small. You clearly see John Hancock's name right on. I need you to know and he didn't even just say John Hancock. If you look up the Declaration of Independence, John Hancock, the president of Virginia. Basically, because you got to understand, they know full well, you put your name on this, if the British come, they know exactly who to come looking for. Right? Now, 1 second, because I'm going to find it. Keep going, keep reading.
Come. verse 23. And he shall unto them, he shall drink indeed my cup, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. But to sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give.
His right hand and on his left, which is not mine to give, right? Right. So what is that letting you know? Christ cannot no one can raise your rank except for the Most High.
That's right.
All right, that is strictly on the Most High. Only he can raise Khan.
I just wanted to say that that lets you know that Christ is not God. Because if he was God, he would know the answer and he would be able to tell those people what they wanted to know. He couldn't tell them because somebody else knows the answer. And that's the reason that he couldn't give them an answer on what they wanted.
Wait, so repeat that again, Salaki. Say, Salaki, repeat that one more time. They didn't. What do you mean they didn't know the answer?
No, he didn't know the answer.
Meaning like he can't give the answer.
Right.
Meaning
God got to give the answer.
Right, but how do I say it? He makes the decision because he says, Peter, you are my rock that my church will be founded on. Mm-hmm. Christ said that. But how? What happened? Who am I? Peter was the one to answer the question. You're the Messiah. You're the Christ. You're the one we follow. Peter, you're in charge.
Yeah, but
Peter
you know what? He also let you know that there's a God above him.
Right. There's a rank and order structure.
Right.
And that's exactly right, sis. Right now, Salakia, come on. So we're going to go now to John 19, right? John 19, Salakia. John 19, and 26, because we're going to cover something. This ain't necessarily Hebrew, but it's a good thing to cover as far as language goes, or as far as it goes with understanding how things go. So this is John 19 and 26, and I'm about to explain the relationship between Christ and John a bit. John was younger, okay, as you can see. Your mom was bringing you to go join some organization, right? Like it was like for brothers who's into music, it's kind of like Lil Wayne and Birdman without the disgustingness. Or another way to explain it is like Jermaine Dupri and Houdini. Jermaine Dupri got big off being one of their backup dancers, and they groomed him as a young man into coming up, which was a very big thing amongst our people. John was like right under Christ and stayed under Christ's wing. Peter was the second, as I explained before. Peter had to make sure camps went out. Peter had to make sure the nation was right. John actually got to sit there and roll with Yahushua and really take notes on how Yahushua ran the organization, how Yahushua ran the school. Okay, so basically, you get that because the reason I'm bringing this out partially is because is everybody familiar about the book of John? Salakia, the gospel rather. Salakia, Paratza.
Yes, sir.
You're familiar with how John refers to himself in the Gospel of John?
Say that again, sir.
Are you familiar with how John refers to himself in the Gospels?
John refers to himself in the gospel
Of John, come. Give me, I already pulled it, John 19 and 26.
19 and 26.
Read it.
You said John 19 and 26?
Yeah, come, John 19 and 26. That's it right there.
You want to get it?
Yeah, come. All right.
The book of John 19 and 26.
Right.
When Yahushua therefore saw his mother and the disciples stand by, whom he loved,
Right. His what? Who he what?
who he loved.
Now, why is it saying that? You know who that is, right? Right. Try to raise your hand next time. Come. That's John. In the book of John, referring to himself as the disciple that Christ loved. Right? Now, why is he doing that? Because he was under the wing. Everybody else, you run this camp, you run that. John, you stay with me. I'm about to go see my mom. I gotta do all it. I gotta help her with something. Mom, you need some laundry? You need the laundry done? John, go handle that. Oh, what? We need chicken for the house? Yeah, John, go handle that. So on my deathbed, here's the thing. I know I love you so much, and I know you love me so much. You'll take care of my mother in my absence. Jesus had older brothers. One of them came into the truth, James. A lot of people don't know, so we're aware. James of the scripture, the letter of James is not John's brother. That is Jesus. Right? What's it called? But mind you, Christ died being the only member of his family in the truth. And he knew and understood who is my mother, who is my brother, who is my sister. Those who do the will of my Father. So he understood the man who would make sure to do the will of his father, which is to take care of his mother in her old age, would be his brother that actually already does the will of his father. Come.
So John was his brother?
John, no, not his literal brother. What's called? But that was a brother that he loved, kind of like a little brother.
Oh, okay.
God. And he was loved so much, like John died on the island of Patmos. I forgot specifically how John died, but if I'm not mistaken, I can't say he died on Patmos. Patmos is, if I'm not mistaken, is where Revelations is written. John was in prison when he got Revelations. You had a question?
I'm way off course because you went too fast.
Okay, well, basically, the brother had a question about John and the books of John. Okay, the Gospel, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, and the book of Revelations were all written by the same man, which is the Apostle John, which was basically a brother that Christ took under his wing. They didn't get the 2nd and 3rd seat. They got, so Christ would be first. So they got 4th and 5th. 2nd and 3rd were Peter and Andrew. The rank of the disciples is Matthew's the 10th chapter for anyone that needs it. Con.
Like, so this is the St. John from Revelation.
Right.
Okay.
Right. John, St. John, as they call him, is John the Revelator, if I'm not mistaken. Paratazar, so that answers your question pretty much?
Come.
No sign trace. Clap it up. Okay, we're gonna officially start Hebrew or Lashawan Kodash. Okay, we got a high holy day coming up. The Feast of Tabernacles, right? We're gonna cover a few things today. We're gonna cover Hebrew words, all right? We should always be willing to do this or wanting to do this around this time to make sure that brothers are prepared for when they have to come up and speak and read the Hebrew, right? You should be studying this at home so you can take back your culture and your language. So we're gonna go through this and we're gonna get the common words in Salakia, common.
Some people in here know the Hebrew.
Right. And that comes from years of studying. Right? I didn't get to this level just yesterday. Right? This took a lot of hard work and it's still a lot of hard work. There's still much I have to learn. Oh, it's not that. I started.
It's a lot. I have to learn.
No sign dress, that's why you need to stay in class. So, first we're starting with Wayah Dabar Yahweh. I will start with verse 1. Okay. So, first word we'll deal with is Yahweh. Actually, how we gonna do this? Okay. Since we're gonna do this, yeah, we'll deal with this problem. Salakia, Pratza, you familiar with a fake name? Oh, let me not.
Say that again, sir?
You familiar with dumb fake names? I'm not even gonna put that on the board.
Say it again?
Fake names.
Which you referring to?
The Most High.
Oh, come. Oh,
Right? So, first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna deal with the Most High's name, and we're gonna break that down and show that it does matter. You good? Yeah, take it. Actually, yeah, that's perfect. Let him do it. Okay, Khan. So, yeah, Khan. So we'll deal with the Most High's name. Salakia, let me see if I can't send that to you. I'm about to send you something, P. I just need you to read it. This is from the Britannica. This is from, what I'm about to send the brother is from the Britannica. He's going to read it off. I wish he could have. Okay. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, Most High in Christ, I just sent them to you. So what we're going to deal with now is, first thing I want you to deal with is, Salaki, this is all. It's the first one is a mistake. It's the one about the letter O. That's about, yeah, actually, if I could you read that first one?
First one?
Yeah, read the first one. Because this is just so we're clear that honor the physician. Read it, Baba Kushel.
Come. So you want learning points?
Learning points, yeah.
Come. Learning points.
Wait, does it say where that website is?
Let's go back. Not this, I don't have.
It doesn't say it. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. This is from a pediatric website, right? A study. Keep going, read.
Come. Learning points. Children can be a particular risk for fasting problems.
What?
Fasting problems.
For what?
Fasting problems.
So you probably, if you don't want a
fasting problem,
you probably shouldn't have your child
fasting.
Right. Thank you. Keep going.
Because of their smaller size.
Really? So you mean an undeveloped child probably should eat 3-course meals?
They're smaller size.
Who thought? Sis, did you know that? Probably a child should probably eat 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Surface area increase metabolic needs. And
Metabolic needs. Meaning you have this baby right here, right? Okay, meaning like this one. We're always running around the goddamn school, always running around the house. You know why? Because he has a lot of energy to put off. I can't tell him, you probably need to sit down because you're about to feel like hell in about 6 hours. Will you understand that? Will you understand that? Little man, like you, in a few hours, if I don't feed you, you're going to feel like you'll feel sick. He ain't going to understand that. So you know what? How about this? I'll be a warrior for you and let a child be a child.
Right.
Keep going.
He's trying
to
Yeah, he looking for you, sis.
And inability.
Right, you got pee?
No, he's just
Yeah, he crying. Yeah. Continue.
And inability to communicate.
Inability
To communicate.
Inability to communicate. Keep going.
Or to help themselves to obtain food and or fluid. Other individuals are also more invaluable, including the elderly.
Right. So who shouldn't be? Who else shouldn't be doing it? The elderly. Keep going.
Elderly, pregnant, and nursing women.
Nursing women. Step up. Go over there. Keep going. And nursing women. Keep going.
And those with temporary or chronic medical conditions.
Right. These are who shouldn't be fasting. Right. The law is so that you shall live. I do this fast for the benefit of my life and my nation. Right? I do this because it reminds me as a people, and us as a people, there are those of us that are less fortunate. There are those of us that what we're doing for a day is their entire life. It's 365 for them. Right? And because of that, I have the compassion to feed those people so they can go on a better day and actually possibly change their lives.
right.
And if they don't live it necessarily, maybe they'll create a new life that makes a life better for everyone else. Maybe if I help this brother not starve, he'll go on to have a son that'll save me from a heart attack. Who will go on to be a doctor who will save me from a heart attack. Our people don't think about these things. Right? That's what that's talking about. Right? We have to what's it called? Take on the responsibility of loving our people. That's not forcing them into some evil like you can't, like you can't be supportive. So basically, give me the next one. Because we're going to cover, the first letter we're going to cover, Khan.
Like, is it a paradigm or when we have to do fasting because of the Exodus?
Right, Day of Atonement. Right? So now, we're going to go into the history of the letter. Oh, sloppy. Write it this way.
Salaki, so you have a better magic marker?
Yeah.
It should be a better one right here. This is open up so.
Okay. Letter O. Right? This is the history of the letter O. Give me that second article. This is the Britannica. You can look this up. This is the Britannica Encyclopedia. Right? This is the history of the letter O. Letter O is not Hebrew. Read it.
O, letter. O, the fourth vowel of the modern alphabet.
Right?
Corresponding to the Semitic Aryan.
Okay, O, right? They take O for what we know as Ayan, meaning literal eye. Right? I. Salakia, the letter I. You see? Ayan is I. Because that's what Ayan means in Hebrew. That's where they get O from. But this, you understand this, isn't an O. This doesn't make a what's called sound. It is an I. Keep going.
Which represent a breathing.
What?
Which represent a breathing.
A what?
Breathing.
I. Notice, you're pulling breath in as you say it. I. Keep going.
A breathing and not a valve.
A breathing and not a valve. Oh isn't a breathing. It's technically a blowing. Right? This is the home of the truth. Right? This isn't a breathing sound. Right? Keep going.
John, can you write harder so it could be really dark?
John.
The what, sir? All right, keep going.
Yeah,
The Semitic form may have derived from the earliest signs represented an eye.
Right. Keep going. Next one, here, Con. Now we'll see where it comes from. Come on.
The Greeks in a.
The what?
The Greeks.
The what?
The Greeks.
The what?
The Greeks.
Keep going.
In adopting the Semitic alphabet. In adopting the Semitic alphabet.
The Greeks did what?
Adopt the Semitic alphabet.
And y'all want to take something that our enemies used and adopt it from us. Keep going.
To their own use.
What?
To their own use.
So you just got to make sure y'all aware. The O in Shalom is definitely gone. That doesn't exist. Keep going.
Their own use this letter.
Right.
The Omicron.
Omicron. After they got rid of English letters or whatever, they had to start using Greek letters. Omicron.
To express the vowel O.
To express the vowel O, right? Keep going.
As the letter Aleph.
Aleph. Do you know what Aleph is? Come.
It's in the Hebrew alphabet A.
That's A or Allah.
Allah.
Right? Okay, I'm gonna send you I'm gonna share you something. I'll share. Come. This is the Oxford University Encyclopedia.com. I'm gonna send this to you. Hold up. And after that, you done with that or
There's more on it.
Yeah, come on, keep going. Because I'm about to send you this and you're going to give me B.
Allah.
Right?
Kalaf.
Keep going.
And Yod.
Right. Just go to vowels. Vowels were not.
Vowels were not expressed alphabetically in the Semitic.
Why? Because there are no vowels in the Semitic. Keep going.
The form of the letters on the Moabite stone was small.
So that's good. That's good. You got what I sent you? The other thing? Encyclopedia.com. Yeah, come. Bob Kashab. Encyclopedia.com. And we're going to get the letter V now, right? The letter V. And we're going to get the history of V. So now we know O, similar to J, too young. O is too young. O was created 1000 BC. Before Christ. Or they try to say common era than Christ. V. Right? We're going to get the history of the letter V to try to figure out where that comes from. Because they try to say that's vowel, right? But we're going to see where that actually, the V sound comes from. You got it?
Oh, yeah, yes, I have it, but it can't, so like I said, if you're talking about P's, give me the alphabet first.
Yeah, let me see. Hold on. Is it what's the explore? Hold on. Go to hold on. Hold on 1 second. I might just. Okay. I see what that's. Okay, hold on.
Salakia, so if I may, does anybody online, can I get a one that you can see the board clearly and you can hear us clearly? Let me get a one if you can see the board clearly and you can hear us clearly. Salakia.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm about to send this over to you. I just, one of it might be wait, hold up. One of it might be a double, but just in case you missed anything. But just double check. Yeah, one of them's a double, Salakia. So just start it where it says V, called V, the 22nd letter. Okay. Now understand, Salakia. Read what you got when you heard a chance.
Oh, Core B.
Right.
Just came in. Core B. The 22nd letter of the Roman alphabet.
Of the what?
The Roman alphabet.
No, the Hebrew alphabet.
The Roman alphabet.
So this letter is not Hebrew at all, it's Roman. Keep going.
As used for English and originated along with F-U-W-Y.
Wait, originated with what?
F-U-W.
Originated with what?
F-U.
It originated with what?
F-U.
Why is that important, Paratiza? Why is that important, Paratiza?
There's no F in the Hebrew alphabet.
Right. Your name is not Forez. Your name would be technically Perez. Keep going.
U.
Right.
W and Y.
W and Y. Keep going.
And
And we're gonna cover W.
in the Phoenicians, in the Phoenicians, consonant symbols, wow,
What?
wow,
What?
wow,
What?
wow.
The Hebrew or in the Assyrian, Wa. So how is that word spelled?
Wow,
Keep going.
which the Greek adopted first.
What? The Greek what?
Which the Greek adopt first.
Adopted first, meaning it comes from us. They got it from us. Keep going.
With the form V.
With the form V. So meaning what? V used to mean W. Because we're going to cover where the V sound itself comes from. This used to mean, this can mean W or really U and V eventually. Keep going.
Adopted first with the form V, then as Y.
As Y, right? Because what is this from? Right? They even stole the symbol. Keep going.
Called Upsilon.
Keep going.
That is Silon.
Keep going.
Bare or simple Y.
Right.
Etruscan, and then the Romans adopted the first symbol. In the Latin, V was a vowel letter.
V was a vowel letter, right? Used for you. Keep going.
But in Romance language, such as
what?
In Romance language.
What is a Romance language?
Latin, Spanish, French.
Right. White languages. These aren't Shemitic languages. Right? This is white languages. Non-Shemitic languages. Romance. Meaning they came from out of Rome. Right? The 7 heads and the 10 horns. Those are Romance languages. Keep going.
Romance languages such as French and Italian.
Right?
It vowels before a second vowel involved to the modern continental.
Continental. No. Oh, yeah. No, it's still a. Oh.
Continental. Just lock this up. Go to the second one.
Yeah, God. Go to the last one. It's in the middle.
The last one?
Yeah, the last one, come on.
Okay.
Continental to the bottom. We got from the top. V was a vowel.
Latin V was a vowel letter, but a Romance language,
Right,
such as French and Italian.
right.
It vowels before a second vowel involve the modern continental pronunciations.
So what does that mean? The letter V evolved from French and Italian, which evolved from Latin, which evolved from Roman, which evolved from Hellenic Greek. The letter, the sound V pronunciation is Latin, not Shemitic. Okay, the V pronunciation, that's Latin, not Shemitic. This is the true pronunciation. It's long.
So
It's
that
not
is
Bob.
what?
It's not Shemitic. It's Latin. Okay? It's not, okay? It's long. Wow. The letter V. Okay? And the I, we understand, has a breathing sound. Right? Now we're going to get into it. Okay? So why is all this important? There is no O in the Hebrew.
There is no what?
There is no O in Hebrew. Okay? So this is not an O, and neither can the Y because it's considered an O. It can't be considered a V either. And also, what's another one? The Ba. Because they also try to say Ba and V are the same, similar. That can't be true.
So why did
Because V is only as old as basically French and Italian.
Right.
Yeah, God.
Can I say something?
Yeah, God.
I often heard that they didn't want to say the correct name of God because they didn't feel they should be saying it.
Yeah, because they're stupid. If I'm reading the scriptures, you better say God's name. If I'm invoking a prayer, you should probably say God's name. But
Right.
there's also times when you don't necessarily have to say God's name.
Is it just an excuse to not give up the real name because they didn't want the people praying to God?
No, it had nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with people being stupid and not understand and misusing the scriptures. Because the scripture says don't use God's name in vain.
Right.
Like his name ain't Jehovah, but Jehovah, damn it, don't be
Like
just
the curse and all that?
not necessarily just the curse. Don't overuse it. You can summon a hurricane. If the Most High is with you, you can summon a hurricane. You invoke His name. Don't use that without. It's like crying wolf. If I could give an example. But if I'm praying, obviously, yeah, Yahweh kill my enemies. Yahweh save me.
Yeah.
John. So
Now, I also was told that
right.
Yeshua
Yeshua is also BF. We just covered. You don't exist. There are no vowels in Hebrew.
okay.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a goddamn Yeshua. So now that we know that this is in the U, right? The U didn't exist. There was always a Y. So what does that mean? There can't be no Yeshua, right?
I'm glad you mentioned that. What about Ahia?
Hold on. We're going to get through all of this. Hold on. John, and raise your hand next time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, John. So now we have this, right? Yeah, right? You can go on we're pulling Leviticus 23:1, right? So now, you know in the Hebrew, this is spelled like this, right? So we understand nobody debates this is Yah, nobody debates this is Ha, right? But now we get into a problem when we try to say what this is. Y'all want to say this is an O. O's too young. How could this name was used thousands of years before this, right? So how could this be an O if that symbol didn't exist yet, right? How can this be? This couldn't be a V because that's not a V. It can't be a U because what's called? Because that's also not here. That's also too young. So what does it have to be? It has to be what it's said to be. John. Huh? No. It has to be a Y. And then this would be a ha to close it off. Ya, ha, wa. Right? This is the Most High's name. Right, Yahweh. This is his name in the ancient and the Assyrian. Okay, and I'm gonna leave that up there. And now I'm gonna erase this. Right? So now here's the funny thing. Yeshua don't even make sense. Because I'm gonna really just write Yahweh's name, and I want somebody to explain how that equals this. This is literally Yahweh's name in Hebrew. And I'm gonna do it in Syrian. Well, I'll fix that in a second. Okay, okay, right? So how is that Yeshua? Huh? How is that Yeshua? This don't even make sense. You got Yah here. Where's this? Where's the Ha that should be here? Where's the Y that should be here? Huh? You got two whole letters missing in this. You haven't noticed that?
If I may, sir.
Right.
Can you write that in the ancient Yahshua Kadash?
Yeah, Khan.
If you translate that, so
Khan.
if you was reading in the original language.
Yah, Ha, Wa, Sha. Yasha. You're missing a Ha and a Y. And we just covered there's no U. So first up, where you get this U from if the U is supposed to be the Y? Y'all jumbling up the letters. Right? And then we already covered this is an I. This takes the form of an I. A breathing sound. Once again, like O, this is more blowing outward. It's not breathing in. How is this Yahweh's name? They don't know what they don't know Hebrew. John, what's your question about this?
So like, because if you say that they skipped over to add a U to Yeshua, right? That's what we're talking. Like what happened in history that they skipped that over in between? Something in history applies to why they're using Yeshua.
Right. They're stupid because they're dumb. Here's the thing. You're familiar, this is Joshua's name. Joshua and Jesus have the same exact name. You're familiar, Joshua's a nickname. Joshua is actually Hosea. That's what his father named him.
Right.
Hosea ben Nun. You can look that up. Which Moses called Joshua. When you look it up in the Hebrew, you will literally see the word Yahweh, which in Hebrew means he will save. Present, future tense. Right? But, and even, Salaki, I'm not sure which one. Salaki, give me this on-demand biblical shot. What? Right. Yeah, Tom, read that if you want. I'll get this on. Sorry, read that. God,
So like if I made,
Salaki, give him one sec, Salaki. Read what you got.
All right. The Hebrew alphabet is the oldest in the world, still in use today.
Right.
Our own alphabet is a descendant of it come to the notes. The text of the Hebrew Bible we use today reflect several periods of development.
Right.
Originally, only the continent was used.
Only the what?
Originally, only the continent was used.
Only the consonants were used. Meaning the consonants. A, ba, da, A, B, C, D. A functions as a consonant. B is a consonant. C is a consonant. D is a consonant. Right? Basically letters. Vowels are things that are tacked onto consonants to give different sounds, so to speak. Keep going.
But the time of the Israelite kingdom, some continent, ha, wa, na, was used to indicate certain vowels.
Used to indicate certain vowels. Right. But that's not exactly true. Okay, people say that, but that's not exactly true. Now I'm about to give you price. Okay, this is the Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary under Christ. If you go to Jesus, it will say see Christ. So this is 3. Names, titles, and offices. Considerable help in understanding the person and work of Christ may be gleaned from a consideration of the terms used to designate him, especially as these are employed by himself and his close associates. Jesus is used mostly in the narratives of the Gospels, and only rarely does it appear in direct address. It means Savior, Matthew 1:21, being related philologically to the Hebrew name Joshua. In the KJV of Hebrews 4:8, Jesus actually stands in the text instead of Joshua. Because why? Jesus and Joshua are the same name, so when they translated it in the Greek, obviously it was going to look exactly the same. Right? And this is Hebrew language class, but what is this class? What is the purpose of Hebrew language class? What is our express purpose, class?
okay, let me try to formulate my question a little bit.
Well, make sure you answer this question. What's the purpose of Hebrew language class?
The what?
Purpose of this class, Hebrew language.
To learn back the culture that you once had.
Right, and what do we get from doing that? And what?
And know your language to communicate.
Right, and how does that help you?
Okay, that can help you build a relationship with your fellow Israelite man or woman.
Right.
Which will give you back your inheritance.
Right.
That's the point.
That's good, but what you gonna say?
I was gonna say to be able to talk to God.
Well, you can talk to God in another language. That's in the scripture. Right. But what I'm talking about is being able to not only take back your culture, but also being able to understand the problem. Because there's a lot of BS. How are you going to look? You go up to your house shop saying Yeshua. You don't even know my name. You're going to call yourself my follower. Now, stupid, you going to look?
So,
my mama didn't name me Yeshua. That ain't even Hebrew. Nobody in my family talk like that. John.
If I make with my initial question on
John, yeah, what's your next question?
I asked that because I'm trying to see if I can get a timeline, because I hate when I get something,
right,
but I don't know the time,
What do you mean, the timeline for what?
When we was, from my understanding, we made that, we was the one that came up with the way they write the Jewish people. So it's
okay, this, right. Okay, meaning, this is still your house shop. There's still no vowels inside of it.
Right, so, but that's what I'm saying, because in the timeline was like 600 or 700 or something.
That would have been the time of the Persians. Oh, no, I'm sorry, the Assyrians. So that would have been around the time of the Northern Kingdom.
So so they were learning that the ways from us on how to serve God, I believe.
No, it wasn't that they were learning the ways from how to serve God. We adopted their writing system. We adopted their writing system. We adopted this is based off Assyrian writing, right? The Northern Kingdom, just like today, brothers try to wear suits and talk white and talk like Europeans. The Northern Kingdom tried to adopt their writing system, thinking we'd get more appeasement if we had a similar writing system. It didn't work, right? Now, over time, that became somewhat of a standard and a norm, specifically with Amalek.
So this will be sort of like you learning how to write script, then
Well, ancient Hebrew did have script originally. Ancient Hebrew had script. It's lost to history now.
Right.
But ancient Hebrew, like you ever see Arabic?
Yeah.
You ever notice Arabic is kind of like squiggles and everything's connected?
Right.
Hebrew was the same way.
No, so like you write certain things.
You're right.
I don't know, maybe we will more in Spanish. When you write certain things, they broken. They're not necessarily together.
What do you mean?
Right, like you write your name and it's not in script.
Right.
So when you're doing it, you're doing it. Someone else is with some college degree, right, or some more understanding or way to speak. They might have it as the educated person will write a script,
right,
and then the other one would break it down.
John.
That makes sense.
So the main word we're going to do is Yahweh. Yahweh, right? Which means the most high. Most high, right? So the second one. So now that we know Yahweh is literally what's called. There is no O in the Hebrew language. O is only 1,000 years old. No, it's like 1,000 years older than Christ. And Moses is like what? What is the guesstimation on between Moses and Christ? Like 5,000?
Moses?
Yeah, from Christ to Moses.
3,000.
Yeah. So how? Yeah. So then you go back almost another 1,000 for 4,000. So how is what's called? Well, let's use Moses. How is they calling him O or some BS with an O in it if that letter won't exist for another 3,000 years, 2,000 years, right? So now we have another O word, right? Mashah, which in Hebrew is Moses. Right? And I'm going to put that one on the board for y'all. I'm going to deal with the Assyrian a lot today for once, because that's what y'all need for the model. Okay? Salami, y'all got it bigger earlier, so I'm just going to go small because I got much space. Okay? Then you have La Amar. Now understand, one thing you should always, Salaki, we got to kind of get through this, sis.
No, I just want to know who's that right there.
That's Yahweh.
Yahweh, okay, thank you.
John. Okay. La Amar. What is La Amar? John. What do you think it is? La Amar. And this is to help you because what's translated is not always what's actually said. What is Amar? What is Amar by itself? First thing you always got to know is prepositions, possessives, I hope I spelled that right, and roots, root words, right? This is a preposition, right? I'm going to show you a possessive in a second, and This is the root word. Amar. So what does Amar mean? Do you know? Amar. Anybody online?
Sorry, you asking. Anybody online see anything?
Yeah, they know. Yeah, John.
So is this Lamar?
So what?
Is that Lamar?
That's La Amar.
Okay.
John. Nobody? Amar is the verb to say. Right? Amar means to say. However, La Amar in this instance is what you'll see translated is saying. Right? But what does La mean by itself?
Don't say
Huh?
say.
Don't even say so.
Don't say say. Give them one.
Okay, got it. All right. So then what does La mean? Anybody? God. So really, what he's saying in Salakia, Leviticus 23:1 is to say to Moses. Meaning he spoke to Moses to say. Right? That's what actually should be translated. Right? So now we're going to speed it up. Next thing you should also know is definitely Yasharala. Actually, better yet, I'll give y'all a better one. I'm going to leave this over here with me.
Is that like saying Juan Yasharala?
No, Ban Yasharala, that's something else. Banya, now, who can guess what Banya Yasharala is? I'm gonna write it. Try to guess while I write it in the series.
We got it. Okay.
Well, we know what Yasharala is, right? We know what Yasharala is, right? Try to keep it down a bit, guys. Come on.
Catch up.
So what is Yasharala? Nobody know what Yasharala is?
That's Israel.
Right. So what's Banya Yasharala? Come on.
Ban Yasharala, son of Israel.
But we got that. Ban is son of Israel, right? But Banya, we got Banya. So what is that? I'll give it to you. Huh?
Like it's son of he?
Son of who?
Son of he?
Son of he? No. He or him would be Wa.
Oh, okay.
Right. Banya, what you would be thinking of technically, Yah would be my, but not in this instance. This is different. What is the Yah? I'll give it to you for time's sake. Technically, children of Israel. Banya Yasharala is how you say children of Israel. Okay? To proclaim, right, is Salakia. Concept. Right.
you actually get. Before you say it, you're gonna get confused. Teaching your son and their children what's gonna happen because again, you're getting money, things about it. And when the house and they think about my body said this was the other one. Give them one thing to talk about. Give it something.
Okay, so it's my son. It's mine. Okay. So it's my son Israel, right? Right?
Come on.
So next you have to proclaim, which is Quran. Right? To proclaim in this instance, but it also means to call. Like Quran Allah, the Most High call, the power call. Right?
So what is that?
What? Quran.
Torah?
John. All right. So now we're gonna deal with some more. Next we're gonna deal with a few words. The shop. Next. John. What? Oh, Salaki. Quara. Qarah.
Thank you.
John.
You like the name, sister?
It's my son, Israel.
Oh, no,
John.
Quran. Like the definition of Quran, sis?
No.
What was that?
Quara, it means proclaim or to call. Okay, now hold quick.
Don't give them two answers, give them one answer.
John, call.
Cool.
Okay. Okay, next you have Maquara. Maquara. Yeah, Maquara. Kodash. Right? Right? So, Maquaraya Kodash would mean holy. Maquaraya convocations. Right? Holy convocations or right? Hold up. 1 second. I just finished this one. Salaki. Kodash, right? Makaraya Kodash, meaning holy convocations, right? Then you have next, Mawai. Right? Okay, Mawai means feet. Well, technically. What is I have a meeting. How you translate that? That's on shoot. Of a meeting. Right? Okay. Next we have Khan. Shabbat. Shabbat is Sabbath. Right?
So that is a word.
What?
So that is a word. Sabbath.
Shabbat, Khan. Shabbat is Sabbath. Shabbat, one, is a rest. Mala, Mala, Aka, is work, but work in terms of a career, right? As in something you do for a employment. If I fix my roof, it's work, but I'm not working for somebody. I'm fixing my own personal things.
Right.
If I kindle fire, if I turn on my stove, you have to understand when you can.
Salaki, so if I may, you got when you got that Makaraya,
You can.
Makaraya, and the Syrian, is that after the you got Makara? What is that right there? Is that
Yeah,
before that? Is that it? Is that
that's Makwara. Kwara,
Oh, it's a ah.
You can.
So cause you have to say ah, qua,
Kwar,
qua.
Kwara,
Oh, it's my quad. Aya.
can.
Come. That's how you say it.
Makwara, can.
Uh,
Like Kwara,
The last,
Kwara
Kwaya,
Come.
the last word.
The last word, Mala'aka.
Can you spell that?
Malaahkah. Work, career, meaning like your career or employment.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Because there's another word for work, either. Right? You're not allowed to do your slavery, so to speak. Your job, how you feed yourself. Like meaning kindling fire on Saturday, that was a job for people. Kindling fire can take a whole day sometimes. So that's how they do it. Right? So next, Salaki.
Um,
Next is Kadash. Okay, so rest, Shabbat. Let me see, I'm gonna put Shabbat, Salaki. Shabbat one, or well, I'll write them both. I'll write them both here. Shabbat, Salaki says we gotta get through this. That's Shabbat, and this is hold on. Right? This is Shabbat, and this is Shabbat 1. Right? I'm doing it in the Assyrian because this is what you're going to need for tomorrow. Shabbat 1. Right?
so is the Bible written on
Yes, this is most Bibles are written in the Assyrian. I have a what's called, interestingly enough. If anybody needs it, I think also Vine still has the copy of the Torah and the ancient.
Oh,
The ancient Hebrew. Malakath. Ma. La. Ka. Malakath. Kadash. Moon. slash month. Kadash. And I'm gonna have you look up something. When you get a chance, perhaps look up biblical boost on Google and tell me what comes up.
Come.
All right, moon or month, right? Okay, we got Kadash. Now we're gonna get a few of these, right? We're not gonna get. We'll get some of the numbers for these. So, Slaki, you. We're gonna get some of these numbers. So the first one we're gonna do, Salakia, when is Pesach? Okay, when is Passover in Hebrew? What day? The day. You don't have to know the month, but what day? Say it in English at least.
Slaki, so you're talking about when is Passover this year coming up?
No, when is Passover? When is Passover every year, according to our calendar? You don't got to know the month, but what day? Just like Christmas is on the 25th of the last month. When is Passover?
Like you meant the date, like
The day, yeah.
oh, I thought you meant like on the day, like of the week, like the specific day.
No, what day? Because it happens at a certain time every year.
Is it the 4th?
Not the 4th. You're close. Y'all don't know when Passover is every year?
The 21st?
The 21st. No.
Like I think it's the second.
No.
Oh,
This is, hold up, let me get it in English. So you got it. This is Leviticus 23 and 5, right? In the 14th day of the first month at even is the Most High's Passover.
Oh, so I said the 4th. I meant
You
the
said-
14th.
Right. Well, sure, you gotta get it right, sis. Okay. So in English, so in Hebrew, that would be, technically it's, what they have written is ba, which they have ba in front, which would in this instance means on or in. Rabbi, Arabai, Aishara.
14.
Salakia?
Oh, no, I just remember that's 14.
Right. Arabai, Aishara in Hebrew. Okay. How about new? Aishara. Arabai, Aishara, right? 14. So I'm going to write it out.
So what if it falls on Sabbath?
What you mean? If
The Passover.
it's a Sabbath. Well, it's a Sabbath following the Sabbath.
Oh,
Yeah, John. 14. Arabai Aishra. Right? Measure. Next you'll have Kam Shah Aishra. Which is Aishra. Kamsha Aishra. Right?
Kamash?
Technically it's Kamsha from where I was told. It's gone. Okay. Kamsha Aishra. Right? And that means 15. Which is what? What is the 15th day? Okay.
Unleavened bread.
Say what?
Feast of unleavened bread.
Feast of unleavened bread. That's absolutely correct. So how do you say Passover in Hebrew? Well, before we say that, how do you say day in Hebrew?
Day in Hebrew?
Yeah. Very simple. How do you say day in Hebrew? Anybody? Do you know what day is? Y'all ain't old enough for that. Right, brother?
I'm looking for days.
God. Yeah, you're good. I'll give y'all another second. If anybody online see if they want to try to get it. Yeah, come. What is day in Hebrew? I'll give y'all one more second. How you think you got it? Just y'all should remember this because it's a very famous Jewish holiday.
Yom Kippur?
Something like that. That's not it, but how would you say it properly? We just covered O, right? So if we know there's no O, what should be there? Think about it. We also covered shalom. What do stupid idiots put instead of just a regular line them out?
You telling me when they say shalom, they put an O there.
But what do fake Israelites put?
They put a on shalom.
Yeah, or yeah, kind of. How do they say it? Do
They say shalom. They say no. They say
Shalom.
That be it,
They say,
right?
Yeah.
So what do you think is there? What do you think? If it's Yom, it's supposed to be Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur. But we know there's no O in the Hebrew language.
Yom.
What should that be? Huh?
Should it be Yom Kippur?
No, not Yom Kippur. Yawam.
Yawam.
Yawam is day. I was about to write it. I was about to put what's it called? Yeah.
I was almost there.
Khan. Yawam is day, right? Irab, I'm gonna give y'all that. Irab is evening. Irab. Now we're gonna go into a few of these. Now some of these. Now that we got those, Pesach. Pesach. Right, Passover. You got it. Now we're gonna get into the one that we're dealing with tomorrow because a lot of people don't know it. Did you look up what I asked, Dr. Shrub?
Booth?
Yeah, John.
And you said you determined the biblical word for booth.
Biblical booth. No, not biblical word, just biblical booths.
Biblical booth. All
right. Pesach. Right. Pesach, right? Pesach, and then we have let me make sure I get that right. Matazawa. I want to say that's Matazawa. Matazawa. Slaku. Matazah. Matazah. What do the Jewish people call that? We know it's unleavened bread, but what do they call it?
Salaki, sir. Maza?
Matzah, yeah,
Maza, right?
Yeah, matzah. Which isn't necessarily wrong, but that's a whole other conversation. We're not even going to get into that necessarily today. Because to a point, this should all be said together. If you ever notice, I try to say your name. I don't too strongly say the T. It's supposed to be pronounced more like so. Peraza. You understand? Like the T and the Z are kind of connected, but you really more emphasize the Z than the T. Okay, so it really is kind of like matzah. But John, we in the Assyrian it'd be spelled right. Try to make sure you get this, because I'm trying to get out of here. Right. I'm doing the wrong one. Slovakia. Matzah, right? That's matzah, which is unleavened bread. So, and kag is feast. Right? So, kag matzah, feast of unleavened bread. Right? So I'm just giving you a few of these. Another two sets you should want to know is Sakah.
Salakia, sir.
Salakia, another one, Salakia, Yakam.
Salakia, sir. How you pronounce the feast again?
Kag. Kag.
Kag.
Kag. Matazah, right? So now, I'm going to give you a few more, then we're going to go to the main feast that we're dealing with tomorrow, which starts at like 33. So you can drop down to Leviticus 33 in a second. We're just going to cover 20. Imar is sheep. Imar is sheep, right? A Kahan is priest. You'll see that a few times. Wait, no, Salakia. Okay, priest. It's Kahan.
Salaki, so I got booth.
Okay, Khan, you got booths. You got go to images.
Images?
Yeah, Khan. No, booth.
No.
B-O-T-T-H. Yeah, Khan. Okay, Kahan, which means priest, right? So now we're gonna get the hold up.
Excuse me.
Yeah, Khan.
How do you say priest?
Priest is Kahan. Kahan.
K-A-H-A-N?
Yes, Khan. Khan, okay. Let me just pull it. Okay, now to harvest, okay, is right. Hold on one second. Skip another bit just to make sure you get all the good ones. To reap, or to reap rather, is quatizar. To reap, verb, right? So, Salakia, right? Quatizar, to reap, right? Okay, and then quatizayar. What do you think quatizayar is? What do y'all think quatizayar is? Quatizayar, Khan. We got quatizar, which means to reap. What do y'all think quatizayar is?
Reaping.
No, not reaping. My quads get a little messed up sometimes. Little, yes, better. And I'll wash my hands. Quatizayar. Yeah. Khan. Quatizayar. So what do y'all think that is? We got quatizar, which means to reap. What do y'all think quatizayar is? Quatizayar. Khan.
So would that be harvest?
Yes. Harvest. Basically what you reap, right? I forgot the exact term, but Hebrew is, do you know it? Like with certain languages, like you got malak, which will mean a verb and the corresponding noun to it. There's a specific name for languages that have that, what's it called? I forgot it off the tip of my tongue, but you'll find that often, like the bar is both word and to talk or to speak, right? So now we're getting to the meat of it. We're going to get to the feast that we're dealing with tomorrow. I was just giving y'all a bit of an overview.
Told them what Yah and why is the middle of a word.
So I could.
Told them what Yah and why is the middle of a word.
I wasn't going to cover that, but we could go over it for a second.
Yeah, before that example.
Right, Khan. So Yah and Wah can change the word in different places, depending on where it is. Like sis, you said reaping, I believe, right? Okay, usually with when you want to make something present tense, I believe. Yeah, that's present tense. You would put it in between the first and the second letter. But usually, Yah changes place. Depending on where it is, it can change exactly. It can change it from a verb. It can change the conjugation of the verb in certain instances. For better clarification, also Hazanah can give you a better understanding of that specific part. So now we're in Leviticus 23 and 34. I'm gonna have you share that screen. You see the booth, right? No, not yet, but go to Leviticus. Yeah, count.
You want Leviticus 23 and 40?
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So now we have the feast we're dealing with today. Chag. This week. Salakia. Sakawa. Right? Chag Sakawa, which means feast of tabernacles. Right? But here's the problem. No one knows what this exactly is. Right?
Would it be booths?
Yes. It's also known as Feast of Booths. Right? Kind of got that from my saying to look him up earlier, right? Now, Salakia. Okay. Okay. Now, Feast of Booths. Now, why is it called the Feast of Booths? Okay, you drop down to verse 40 and read.
Leviticus chapter 23, verse 40. And ye shall take you on the first day of the gourd of budding tree, branches of palm trees, and the broad of fig trees, and a willow of the brook. And ye shall rejoice before the Most High your power 7 days.
And ye shall rejoice before the Most High your power 7 days, right? Keep going.
Verse 41. And ye shall keep it a feast unto the Most High 7 days in the year.
Right.
It shall be a statute forever in your generations.
It shall be a statute in your forever in your generations. Keep going.
Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month.
Right. Keep going.
Verse 42. Ye shall dwell in booths.
Right.
7 days.
Right.
All that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths.
Right. So now you have idiots that try to say today that we're supposed to go into the woods and dwell in booths. Y'all got something for those idiots.
Right quick.
Come.
Did you do the one in the yard?
I broke that down. Come.
What did he say?
Well, I broke down the why, but I wasn't exactly sure because I didn't want.
What is why?
Well, when it's in the middle of the first and the second word, that's usually
Don't say that. Just say it. When it's in the middle of the word.
right.
What is it?
It usually means present tense.
Okay. And how do you put that in English?
ing.
ING.
Okay.
What about the yard?
The that's usually be past tense, concept.
Past tense. So how do you say that in English?
Ed.
ED.
Okay.
You want to keep it simple like that.
Okay.
Don't complicate people where you know more than everybody else. And everybody can't say it like how you say it. Right? You want people to speak it.
Right.
So they have to say it. You have to teach it to them in a way that they can say it.
Right.
Right? Rather than coming to you every time to say it, right?
All right.
So,
are you out of here? All right. Shalom, my lord. Salaki. Okay. So we gonna show what they don't know. Because here's the thing, Salaki, sir. Were you aware of what's called? Like, I did this with John Muhammad. Salaki, show him the picture. Like, I did got this in front with John Muhammad. This is an actual booth. This is the booth. If you go in there Nehemiah, it also says the bulrushes and stuff were used to make it. It's not like we're like palm trees, like with the Christians.
right, but okay, well, these Jewish people?
Well, I checked with John Muhammad. He's what's called
That's an idea. Just before regular Hamite, Shemite,
right, like
a hut.
Right. Yeah.
You got different styles of making everything.
Right. No, because what I'm saying is, these idiots go to Walmart and buy a tent, and then even what's called tent is a hall, not sakwa, or sakah in the what's called singular.
Right.
So it's like y'all don't know what y'all talking about.
I remember, we just saw to the earth. So
right.
If you see a Japhite with a hut,
right,
or anywhere island in Madagascar or wherever,
right,
that's us. We made
right.
that. Or in the Andaman Islands.
Right.
Or what's some other ones out there in the Maldives?
The Maldives.
Right. We the one that made it and they took it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I made a vacation.
Salak, if I may, real quick for Officer Atahab as well, sir.
Salak.
And go DR to see like be a booth.
Right.
You want to hear when they say let's go to the batey. That's a booth.
Right.
That's a real Israelite.
That's a building.
It's in the hill.
Right.
In the what do you call it? The field, right? And then you
it's
see it from far. And that's where everybody's having a cookout. You know what I'm saying? At the mountain, right?
It's not a tent.
Right. That's where everybody's at.
A sakan or a booth is not a tent.
So
This
have,
is a hut.
can I ask a question?
Khan.
So have the fake Jews, have they been making booths?
No, because they have no reason to. They have no reason to remember this. And Baba Kushai, if you could, I'm going to prove what I'm saying. I'm going to prove not only the proper way to celebrate this holiday is just to eat and drink and remember it. Right? We do not have to go out. And here's the stupid thing. You're not even supposed to go into the woods. I'm going to prove that. Give me Nehemiah. Give me Nehemiah. I'm going to give you the chapter real quick. Salaki, let me just find Booth again. Booth.
I'm glad you read that to me, because I thought maybe it was the word.
Yeah, no. There's no way in the scripture that says you have to be in the woods. 8 and 14. Give me 8, 14. Come. Try to be a little quick with it, Bible show. Well, we got a better
Chapter
time.
8, verse 14.
Come. Rick?
Come. Nehemiah, chapter 8, verse 14.
And they? Come, take your time, take your
Oh,
time.
here you go. And they found writings in the Lord, which the Most High have commanded by Moses,
Right.
that the children of Israel should dwell in booths in the feast of the 7th month.
Meaning what? Salakia. Our people saw in the law. This is after we come out of captivity. When were we given the law?
In captivity, I mean, in the woods.
Yeah, the next time try to raise your hand, but in the woods. But when did we get the law?
After captivity.
After captivity, right? So you see how the similar situations are similar? Keep going. That?
No, verse 15.
Yeah, come.
Verse 15. And that they should
Publish.
publish it. They shall publish, proclaim in all their cities,
Come.
and in Jerusalem, saying, Go forth unto the mountain,
Right.
and fetch olive branches,
Right.
and palm branches,
Right.
and myrtle branches,
Right.
and palm branches,
Right.
and branches of thick trees.
And now, mind you, this is exactly what General Muhammad was saying yesterday. What's called the Bible is a mystery. Not everything is spelled out for you. Because when you go, it mentions these things in the law, right? Now, this is Leviticus 23 and 40. And ye shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook, and ye shall rejoice before the Most High your power. Right? You shall be, okay? 7 days. But what did we, okay, so people think that might think you supposed to sit there and wave it like Christian. Here's another thing I want to ask though. I never see any of them in the woods with any of those things. I never see them with palm trees and boughs of goodly trees. I just see them in their in tents, smiling. Right? That's what I see. So they're not out there doing that. John. Right? So we have Nehemiah. John. So now we have.
Give him the scripture, all right?
Oh, John. You can read it? Yeah, John. All right. Give me that again. Nehemiah, where it was.
Nehemiah, verse 14.
No, 15, yeah. Read 15 from the top.
Verse 15.
Right?
And they that should perish and proclaim in their cities
Right.
and in Jerusalem,
Right.
saying, Go forth unto the mount
Right.
and fetch olive branches
Right.
and pine branches
Right.
and myrtle branches
Right.
and palm branches
Right.
and branches of thick trees.
And branches of thick trees, right? Keep going. What's the purpose of this?
To make the booths.
To make the what?
To make the booths.
To make the what?
To make the booths.
No, go to Walmart.
To make the booths.
No, go to Dick's. sporting goods.
To make the booths.
I don't know if Modell's is still around, but read that again.
To make the booths.
Go to your local camping store.
To make the booths.
You're supposed to make that hut or that booth yourself. You are not supposed to go out and what's called buy a goddamn tent. First off, the word tent is a hall. That's a car. They're two totally different things. And now let's see about the woods. Let's see if about the woods. Keep going.
As it is written.
As it is written. Meaning what? That's how it's always been done. Because where were we getting these tents from? First off, we naturally lived in tents. We've been living in tents since Jacob. What's so special about that? But living in a hut, yeah, that's a little different. Keep going.
So the people went forth and brought them and made themselves booths, everyone upon the roof of his house.
Wait, where?
Upon the roof of his house.
No, they all congregated in Yosemite Park.
Upon the roof of his house.
Nah, they went somewhere in the boonies upstate in New York.
Upon the roof of his house.
Nah, they're out there in Alaska.
Upon the roof of his house.
You do this in your crib. No one said anything about leaving town. Upon the roof of his house, which lets you know what? This wasn't even something that we all congregated and came together to do. Y'all dragging all these people out into the woods for what? That's not even how you properly hold this what's called feast day. You made the hut on the roof of your house.
What if you don't have a roof?
Here's the thing. We're poor and destitute and slaves in captivity. Yeah, we don't need to do all that. We know some of us live in tents. Have you been to California?
Yeah. They live in tents.
What the hell do I need to know about all this? Oh, come. Yeah, come. What the hell do I need to know and be reminded about living in a tent when many of my brothers live in tents already? This is for free people. That's what this is for. And let's see how free. Let's see how, keep reading.
In the courts. And in the courts of the house of God.
And in the courts of the house of God. So everywhere. Right? Keep going. They went in the woods.
And in the streets.
Right?
Of the Watergate.
Right? Keep going.
And in the street of the gate of Ephraim.
Right? Keep going.
Verse 17. And all the congregation of them that were come again out of their captivity made booths.
Made booths. They made these booths. That came again out of what?
All the congregation that were of them that came again out of their captivity made booths.
Keep going.
And sat on the booths.
Now, meaning what? They weren't making booths. Meaning what? What's called? They were coming out of captivity just like our people were at that point.
Right.
So they saw it and said, "Here's what we do. This is how we celebrate us coming out of captivity. We're going to commemorate the celebration of booths or the Feast of Booths by dwelling in booths. And we're going to see if that was a norm for our people throughout history." Keep going.
For since the days of Yeshua, the son of Nun,
right,
into that day had no children of Israel done so.
Since the days of Joshua, the son of Nun, Joshua. You know who's in between Joshua? Samson, Gideon, Deborah, David, Solomon, Samuel, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, all these men of God. Read the end of that.
And there was very great gladness.
No, read from Joshua. Read from Joshua again. And
the days of Joshua, the son of Nun.
Yeah, come. Keep going.
Unto that day had not the children of Israel done so.
So David didn't do this. Solomon didn't do this. Solomon created our temple. but didn't say, yeah, let's make sure the first year of the temple, let's all dwell in booths. He didn't say that. Why are we dwelling? We're on top. Gold, silver and gold is like rocks in Israel during the time of Solomon. Why the hell are we remembering slavery? Right? This is so, and even dumber because if they ain't remembering slavery, why the hell do I have to remember a slavery while I'm currently a slave? Here's why Passover makes sense. Passover is I got mine back the last time somebody else enslaved me. This is really, no, we were in slavery and we got out of slavery. Why do I need to remember I'm a slave? Right? They don't know what they're talking about. This is a hut. A sakwat is a hut. Sakah in the singular, right, is a hut. Sakah. Right? So let me write that. That is not a tent. Okay, so the Feast of Tabernacles has nothing to do with that. Sakah is a hut or a booth. Right? Sakah. In the Hebrew would be spelled Ka. Right? So that's it. That's the breakdown. This is the last high holy day of the year. But do not forget, we still have a holy day sometime in December. Go out, I'm going to text him about that. Sometime in December, we have a holy day. Sakah, hut or boot, okay? That will be Hanukkah, which is Hebrew for the dedication. We'll be covering that. You don't have to deal with that in the Hebrew. We deal with that in English. But with that, I'll pass the class over to priest and officer Parasa.
All right.
John,
We're going to give, men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amajim. Men of Israel, Amajim Shabbat. Amajim Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Rakatham. Yahmatah. So and turn to the sister. Sister Amajim. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sister. Men of Israel, Amajim Shabbat. Amajim Barak. Yahweh Shemar Adam B'Hashem Yahushua.
Yahweh Shema Eloka, B'Hashem Yahushua.
Yazmata, class dismissed.
Fuck that up.
I messed it up too.